Hey everyone, it's Anne here from English Valley Cafe. Welcome to this first lesson in 2021. I hope you all had a restful holiday and that you are safe and healthy. Today we're going to talk about how to speak English naturally. And I get questions a lot from English learners like, how do I speak English more naturally? How do I make my English more natural? So today I'm going to talk about 8 or 9 things that, in my opinion, are important, and you should focus on these things if you want to speak English more naturally. Now, I'm going to mention these in no particular order. I'm just going to go through them. They're all equally important, and if you want to speak English more naturally, I definitely recommend that you focus on these 8 or 9 things that we're going to talk about today in this video. All right, so let's get started with this video. The first thing is vocabulary, the words that you use. If you pay attention to English conversations, when you're watching a movie or when you're listening to podcasts or when you're listening to an interview, you'll notice that in conversations, people use a lot of phrasal verbs, slang, and idioms. Okay, so these 3 types of vocabulary are very common in conversation and speaking. So make sure that you are getting enough exposure, you're learning enough phrasal verbs and idioms and slang so that you can use them in your speaking. The second thing is choosing your words wisely. Do you know what words are appropriate in certain contexts or certain situation? So here we're talking about the formality and the nuance of words that you use. So if you are talking to your supervisor or to your boss, you might not say, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Whereas if you were talking to your friend, that is completely appropriate and it's normal. Okay, so understanding the formality, how formal is the word, in what situation do you use certain words, is important to help you speak English naturally, as well as nuance. Okay, so nuance of a word, you'll notice that English words have different meanings. So there is a denotation, which is like the definition, the meaning that you will find in the dictionary. The other meaning is what we call a connotation meaning, and that is like the feeling that is associated with a particular word. Let me give you an example here. So let's say you're talking to your friend and you want to compliment her about her weight, like she lost weight, she looks slim. But instead of saying slim or thin, you use the word skinny. Okay? In English, people think skinny has a negative meaning to it, like that person is too thin, like they're not healthy. Okay, so this is what I mean by nuance. You have to understand the different meanings or the feeling that is associated with a word when you're learning vocabulary, so that you know when is appropriate to use certain types of words. Okay, so in this example here, you might not want to use the word skinny if you are trying to compliment somebody about their weight. So you might want to use slim or slender. And number 3 is using contractions. And this might sound simple, but believe it or not, a lot of English learners try to avoid using contractions because they have a difficult time pronouncing the contractions, so they use the full form. Okay, but in speaking, you'll notice that a lot of times we don't use the full form. So for example, like I'm, your, he's, she's. We won't say I am going to the store, but rather I'm going to the store. Okay, so try to learn the pronunciation of these contractions and use them in your speaking, and it'll definitely make your English speaking sound more natural. Number 4 is using reduction when you're speaking. You'll notice that this is something that makes it difficult for you to understand native speakers because they use so much of these reductions when they're speaking. They reduce the sound of words, or they combine sounds of different words together. So if you are an intermediate or advanced English learner, I definitely suggest that try to practice using reductions when you're speaking, and it'll definitely make your speech sound more natural. So an example of this might be like, I want to, we might say I wanna, or I'm going to, we say I'm gonna. Okay, so learn the reductions. Number 5 is linking. Okay, and this is similar to reductions. Linking is something that will definitely make your speech, make your English sound more natural when you're speaking. So linking words like, for example, at a, we might say at a, I'm at a store right now. Or out of the, instead of saying out of the, we'll say out of the, out of the. Okay, so practicing linking will definitely make your speech sound more fluent and natural. The next one is stress. Okay, and here we're talking about both word stress and sentence stress. If you want to speak English naturally, this is extremely important. Understanding which syllable to stress in a word. Also in a sentence, knowing that which word you should stress will make your English sound more natural. Okay, so in a sentence, typically we will stress the content words or the important words. In an English word, we will stress certain syllables. Okay, so when you're learning pronunciation, make sure that you practice and understand word stress and sentence stress. And last but not least, intonation. And I'm saving the best for last. This one is extremely important if you want to speak English more naturally. Make sure that you are practicing and understanding the intonation when you're speaking. Okay, so intonation here, we're talking about when your tone should go up, when they should come down. You know, in certain questions, we will raise our tone. In certain situations, our tone might go down. So these are all important part of speaking natural English. Now, a lot of things that I mentioned today, I have videos that where I go more in depth and you do more practice with it. So I'll leave the link down in the description so you can check it out. So I hope this video gives you an idea of what to focus on and what you should practice to help you make your English speaking more natural. If there are other things that I'm sure there are that I didn't mention in this video that you think are important to make English speaking more natural, make sure you leave it down in the comments so that we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Make sure you check out the playlist or the link in the description to all the things that we talked about today so that you can do more practice. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I will see you next week back here for a new video lesson. Take care.